Got your makeup on?
I got my makeup on, man.
Got your powdered up?
Got my pow going. We're fresh.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for being here. If you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back. Today in this video, we're going to go over the ride or die R&D fork kit with Jacob Youngblood. He's the one responsible for putting these kits together for us. We're going to go over how to bolt it up onto the head tube, and we're also going to go over how to fit your wheel and your brake. In this particular kit, we're going to use what brake are we going to use on this one?
CRF50 hydraulic brake. Cool.
And also, too, I'd like to thank my sponsors, which is nobody but Whataburger right here. If you're listening, holla at your boy. Let's get to building.
Right. Go Whataburger.
So
cool.
So when people get this fork kit in the mail,
yep,
this is what it's going to look like.
Comes in a box just like this.
We're going to go over the tools, and we're going to do like an unboxing for y'all.
Yeah, so it comes mostly assembled. There's some minor adjustments. I haven't tightened down a whole lot of bolts, so make sure you go through everything, but I did that on purpose so you can kind of adjust it to how you want to do it.
Yeah.
The main thing you'll need to adjust the forks is a 5mm Allen wrench. The main bolt for the bushings are 17mm, so you'll need a wrench and a ratchet for that. And you might need a big fat screwdriver to adjust some bolts up and down.
Cool.
So that's all you kind of need first. So let's start the cutting, right? Let's open this bad boy up.
So when people go to order these forks, they can choose what kind of brake option they want to have on the website?
Right, so we've got 3 different options for the brake kits. And it's kind of based on what brakes you're running. I still run stock brakes. People make fun of me for it.
Yeah.
At some point, I will upgrade them.
Right.
But we have a kit for that. For guys that just want to run stock brakes, but they want a squishier, better riding front end, we've got a kit for that. The Zoom hydraulic brakes are super popular.
Yep.
So we made an adapter plate for that bolts onto these forks and then fits. We give you the rotor in this kit, so it fits a 180mm rotor. So in this main piece of this kit, this is a CRF50 kit, so this has the brake attached to it. So you have your full fork set. Brakes are on the left, remember that. And this part's almost ready to go. Like, it's dang near bolt on. You take this out and we'll adjust some things, but we'll go through that here in a minute. So let's just pull this out and set it.
I'll hold on to that.
You got your little plastic guards.
Yeah,
if you want to use these, the bolts and everything are still included. They're kind of a pain in the butt to add on. And they don't really do much. They do break a lot. So that's sort of personal preference if you want to use those or not. Comes with a 180mm rotor, like we said. This is a 48mm bolt pattern in the middle, which is what the Razor stock front Razor wheels use. Yeah,
there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of rotors that look like this, that the bolt patterns are slightly different.
Yep, like the Amazon ones, I don't know, they're $11 or something. They're 49mm, and so you're really having to rig it, for lack of a better term. With this, also, this is bigger than the stock one. The stock Razor rotor is 160mm. This pulls it out a little bit more, which gives you a little more room to put your adapter plates or use the CR50 brakes. And it just makes more room, makes it easier. Cool. We've done it before with the stock rotors.
Yeah.
And you gotta like cut a bolt in half and stuff like that. It's not as simple. And what we did with this kit is we made everything simple.
Right, that's what we want.
Yeah. Comes with extra brake pads. And then this is for handlebars.
Yeah. Right,
so this will bolt onto the top, handlebars through here.
So one thing I've noticed with handlebars is you get a 22mm handlebar, and that's what these clamps are for. 22mm handlebar, it's typical on your dirt bikes, things like that. Be careful when you're ordering your bars because you can get a 28mm bar, which is 28mm in the center of the bar. It tapers out towards the ends at 22mm. So you need a 22mm bar where it mounts to the triple tree.
Yeah. I don't know if you've done it, but I've done it where you're riding and everything comes loose and you go, whoop.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're trying to brake upside down looking at your front wheel.
Well.
It leads to scabs. So, all right. So, the order of events: bolt, top bushing, washer into this stock bushing, through the hole, stock bushing, big bushing, triple tree, nut on the bottom. We're ready to attach our forks. So we're going to take this bolt out, we're going to leave in the top bushing, and the bolt's going to go through this top bushing into our first big washer.
Okay.
This is a crucial piece because this now sandwiches this top bushing and the top of the bolt in. And it's very necessary.
So just so we can see the audience.
Yeah.
So this part right here comes out of their stock. That's the stock part.
It
goes back in there.
Right. Then we put this big old washer. Then it goes through that one, through to the bottom, through this big bushing also, which is the other stock.
So there's
when you take these off, these things love to go flying.
And they roll for like a mile.
For a mile. So you can tell just from me sitting here trying to mess with them, they like to travel. And sometimes a rubber mallet is your friend. And we're about to make one our friend. Just give it a little tap-up. Tap, tap.
Tap it in.
Tap-a-roo. And like we said, this little guy loves to go flying. That's probably the hardest part of this entire thing, is just keeping this little guy in place. Now we have our big boy bushing on the bottom.
Okay.
Right? And then we're going to squeeze everything together. Rubber mallet is once again your friend. There's other ways to do this. You can put a big screwdriver in this crack right here. Mm-hmm. You kind of walk it up on both sides. Same concept. Right? You're just trying to loosen these two ends. There we go. All right, now we're pretty tight, and the bolt will do the rest. Right? When we tap this down, we put our washer and bolt on this end. Everything's going to be golden. Right? We'll tighten this down. One thing you probably want to do, if you're thinking ahead of time, is run all your wires through there before you do this part.
Yes. I've done this and taken my forks off at least 3 times because I forgot to run my brakes, and my brakes didn't fit through the...
Correct. So you can do that. You can also just pop one of these down.
Yeah.
Just undo this top part, undo this one.
And slide
it down a little bit, run your wires through there where they need to go.
Yeah.
The front brake doesn't run through there, but your ignition, your on-off switch, your throttle cables, a lot of times you run those through there.
Yep.
All right, so we're here. We're nice and strong on the bolts, and this is ready to go. So we're going to start tightening down the triple trees. So we're just going to give these, and these come a little bit tight. One thing to do is do not over tighten. These things have to be walked in. You can see this little gap right here is wider there on my gross nails.
Yep.
And there.
Got it.
So if you like crank this one down without doing that one at all, you're going to break it.
Yeah, you can't tighten them all at once, right?
Right. Don't do it. Like it sucks, and then you break it and it's ruined.
It's kind of like putting the wheel on your car. You don't want to tighten one lug nut all the way.
It's a
and then
2-bolt star pattern.
Yeah.
So just get them tight, what feels good, and then call it a day. Right? Call it a ride.
Love it.
All right. Then from here we're ready for the wheel. That's kind of, you could put this up first if you wanted to do that before you got the wheel on. And that's just 4 bolts. Real easy. This is a number 6 up top. Just loosen these up. Put your handlebars in there. Tighten them back down. And these 2 number 8s just come up from the bottom. And that's all. When you're 10 feet in the air on a tiny children's motorcycle,
yeah,
this is all that's holding your handlebars
Think
on.
about that.
So, judge for yourself how good of an idea any of this stuff is we do. Because it's all a bad idea.
That's it for the forks, right?
You can put your plastic pieces on here. They're just decoration.
Yep.
They don't really do a whole lot.
I got 3 more miles per hour with mine.
Yeah, oh yeah. And they, when you hit the cactus, maybe it deflects some of the some of the thorns off your tire. I seem to bust tires every day, so who knows. Okay, so here we're going to prep our wheel first. Like we said earlier, we have a 160 millimeter rotor. We're going to pop this bad boy off. We've got 2 wide spacers. We're going to replace this one with the one that comes with the kit. This is a MX front tire, 12 inches, so it has a 14 millimeter on one side and a 17 on the other.
Yep.
So real simple, pop this out. There will be a thing that likes to move. Actually, you can see it. That likes to fall. I like to put a big fat Phillips head through there.
Just keep them lined up.
All the way, and that kind of helps keep it lined up. but sometimes it doesn't get in the way at all. So this is a 4mm Allen.
Does the kit come with replacement screws for the discs? Okay.
Can't forget that these were built for 8-year-olds. And
we're 8-year-olds at heart.
Yes. So.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is there an orientation for that disc to sit on?
There is.
Is there a forward direction for that?
And there's an arrow on the disc.
Don't miss the arrow, people.
Do not miss it. Okay. On this stock brake, before we put this tire completely on, there's a little piece of plastic in here. You want to take this out, and that keeps your pads apart. If you screwed up and accidentally did it without and pulled the handle and squeezed them together, you should be able to get a screwdriver in there and pull them back apart. And then that way you can fit your rotor where it needs to go. So bolt is in this half. We're going to put our first stock bushing right there. Pull the tire up, get the tire into the brake pads, or in between the brake pads. Push this in. This is where you're going to feel resistance on that little piece.
That piece in the center of the wheel, in between the bearings?
That little bar.
Yeah.
So you can stick kind of anything in there to line it up. That works. Big Phillips head works. We get our bushing, our small bushing that comes with the kit.
Yeah.
Face it the correct direction, little part inside.
Make sure your wheel, make sure your disc is inside your caliper.
Make sure your disc is still inside the caliper. That's very important. Then all the way through, line everything up. Boom, we're in. We get our bolt, turn our nut. And just in case we're doing the skid, we want to make sure we have plenty of threading through that vinyl.
It's a lock nut?
It is a lock nut. It'll vibrate loose if you don't use that. And if you're not there, and next thing you know, you're going faster than you should.
Yeah. And your wheel's gone.
And your wheel's gone. There's a little bit of play in this, so if you're kind of rubbing on one side or the other, you can kind of push that over a little bit.
And then over time, as you use this brake, it's going to kind of seat into itself with the disc and the pads.
Correct. But this whole thing kind of cheats in a little bit, and you can get it less, right? So like that's not bad. And this brake, for those who want to go to the next step, has an in and out, yes, no, right? These are for brake lights. So if you wanted to add a brake light later, you just hook your power coming in and your new power going out. If you want to mess with your buddies, hook this up to a horn when he's not looking.
Oh yeah.
And every time he hits the front brake, ready to go.
How many beers on complexity to put this together?
This is a 2 beer tops.
2 beer?
Yeah, and that's you're huffing.
Okay.
So 1 beer really in terms of complexity.
So even without the editing and the things that we did for you guys today to shorten this length of time, it probably took 25, 30 minutes to put it on. Now, that's not including taking it off. We didn't include that because we figured y'all can take off the old ports.
Stuff for the video.
Yeah.
It's also 104 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So.
And it's about 110 in here.
Probably 110
right?
in here.
Woo!
With global warming. So yeah, it's ready to go. You put these bad boys up top, handlebars, run your wires through where you need to go, tighten everything down after that.
Maybe even give it a ride for, a week or so, come back in, just check everything.
Ride it again, or tighten it again.
Yeah.
Don't over tighten. You don't have to over muscle this.
Yeah,
it's sort of
aluminum.
It's Chinese aluminum at that.
It's even
so.
Yeah, take that for what it's worth.
It is what it is. This thing works as a whole unit, right? So if one part fails,
right,
then the whole thing's no good. But if it's all nice and tight, then it really works well together.
Yeah. A little bit of a backstory. Jacob hadn't always been, designing forks and brakes and different things. Originally, about 2 years ago or so, we kind of had to figure out how to do this on our own in a one-time, one-off operation. And this is kind of where it started, right? Yeah.
This is a frame. You can see it's slightly bent from a mesquite tree contact.
I get you.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways to do this. We just we got together and some of the guys were talking, and then we came up with the bolt-on kit. There's plenty of other ways to do it. We had these cups machined in a lathe. One of the guys here happens to own a lathe. There's a lot more people way handier than I am. A lot of guys cut into the frame like this.
Like notch it, right?
Yeah, they'll notch it and then put these cups in there and then weld it on in.
Yeah.
I don't know how to weld, so that was always a limitation that I had.
But you're a good grinder.
I can grind with the best of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we cut off as much as we could on this tube without, you know, rubbing up against the frame right here. Turns out we were rubbing up against it anyway and really sort of compromised the thing. But if you were to put these down in here, weld it all in, make this one piece of metal and not hit a mesquite tree, then you'd be fine. Like, and there's a lot of guys in the groups that run those, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, they work great. This frame was running Piranha forks too. Those are just kind of heavy. They're great forks. Like, they're super smooth. They just, you know, they're hydraulic. They have a little more weight to them.
But when you decided you wanted to take kind of the mini bike scene a little bit more seriously and start developing things, you realized that, well, not everybody has a grinder, not everybody has a welder, and not everybody has access to a lathe.
Right.
So in order to streamline the process, you had 3D catted the fork kit we have now, which is a bolt-on option that pretty much anybody can use and do. You just saw us do it.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to not have to touch the frame at all and do any sort of welding.
It's already not very strong.
Right. It's still made for
it's still a kid's toy.
You know, I'm 215 on a good day.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you know, I haven't bent one yet. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, we started with that, and then we were like, all right, what do these forks look like? How can we match these together? And that's when we developed our kit.
Cool.
So,
right on, man.
Just a little backstory of how, you know, this evolves, right? No, you know, it'll probably evolve again. You know, we got some other triple tree stuff coming.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what other things are there on the Ride or Die R&D website that you want to touch on?
We've got brake lights. We've got all sorts of rotor kits, brake adapter kits. Battery trays have been selling pretty good lately. Those are real neat. They bolt on. They strap your batteries to them. It sits right here in this. Oh, hey, there's one right here. If you can see it. If not, I'll pick it up. Right? Super easy. You can hide an air tag down in there if you live in the city or someplace where your bike might come up missing.
Oh, nice. So, yeah.
There's a bunch of things we're coming up with that are neat and, you know, are real cool, and they just bolt right on. Super easy.
So, I mean, with that being said, as a community, you know, we kind of have the access a little bit to welding. We have the access to machining. We have the access to fabrication, 3D printing. What out there are you missing that you need, that you think the community needs, that we could bring to the market? Just leave it in the comments.
Yeah, and a part of this group is there's people from all lives.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got a different skill set and different things, and it's awesome. So we can all, you know, make cool stuff. And have fun and go ride children's dirt bikes.
Hell yeah, man.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Bye. That's some bullshit.
There's gonna be some heavy editing involved here.
Blooper reel. Well, we lost like three washers and a nut on that.
All right.
Cut. Action.
Action, and that's probably what we're looking for.
All right.